I learned this lesson the hard way, but you don't need to repeat the same mistakes. What I'm about to share has the power to completely change the way you see your own mind and, ultimately, your future. Hi, I'm John Garcia from the Napoleon Hill channel, and today we're going to talk about the single most important law that governs your success and your peace of mind. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you the exact strategy that allows you to take control of your thoughts and transform them into unstoppable results. What truly governs your life today? Your circumstances or your thoughts? This is not a question for idle curiosity, nor is it a philosophical exercise. It is the very foundation upon which all success is built. If your thoughts are scattered, negative or reactive, then your results will reflect that same confusion. But if your thoughts are disciplined, clear and directed, your life will begin to yield rewards of vision, clarity and purpose. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing worthwhile comes from distraction. The starting point of all success, wealth and peace lies in mastering your thoughts. If you do not command your mind, you will end up serving someone else's. That is not theory. It is law. In my years of studying men and women of achievement, I have never found an exception. Those who rise above mediocrity do so not by luck nor by favor, but by mastering the inner dialogue that shapes every decision they make. The world constantly gives you reasons to lose focus. It bombards you with noise, demands your attention, and lures you with trivial distractions. Unless you stand as a vigilant guard over your own mind, you will inevitably fall into the agenda of others. That is why controlling your thoughts is not a minor duty, it is the primary business of life. Every action begins in the mind. Every success is rehearsed first in thought before it becomes reality. The moment you let doubt enter, the seed of failure is planted. The instant you give fear room, you empower defeat. Thought is not passive. It is the most powerful force you possess. A man may start with nothing and rise through disciplined thinking. Another may inherit wealth yet lose it all through reckless thoughts. True wealth is not material. It is born from mental order. When I speak of transforming your life, I do not mean external circumstances alone. Those are consequences, not causes. Transformation begins in the quiet solitude of your own thinking. You need no permission to begin. You need only a decision, an unwavering commitment to guard your thoughts as treasures. Never let your mind wander aimlessly. Thoughts, like seeds, grow into whatever they are nourished with. Plant doubt, and you will reap hesitation. Plant belief, and you will grow courage. Feed your mind with fear, and you become paralyzed. Feed it with purpose, and you become unstoppable. Your current results are simply evidence of your past thinking. If you want new results, you must change the thoughts that created your current condition. This is not abstract, it is mechanical, repeatable, and it is law. Most people drift because they never take control of their own mind. They move with the winds of public opinion, family expectation, and social influence. But the one who directs his thoughts directs his destiny. This power is not reserved for a select few. It is not for the privileged, nor only for the educated. It is available to all, but used by very few. So I ask you, are you using your mind, or is your mind using you? Have you trained it to obey your will, or does it run wild, pulled by every distraction? The riches you seek, the peace you desire, the success you dream of, they are not waiting outside to be discovered. They are already within you, locked inside the patterns of your thinking. Change the pattern and you change everything. To control your thoughts is not to repress them, it is to choose them consciously, to feed your mind only with what aligns. With your definite purpose, you must become ruthless with your attention. Eliminate the trivial. Guard your focus as you would guard your very life, for it is your life. Begin each day with intention. Do not start by reacting, start by creating. The most powerful individuals do not begin their mornings scrolling through distractions. They begin in silence, in clarity, anchored in purpose. They do not wait for motivation, they command their will, and so must you. Start small, but start. Direct one thought, hold it, shape it, repeat it. Discipline grows through practice. The more you direct your thinking, the more power you build to shape your world. The wealthy are not always those who work the hardest, but those who think with clarity and conviction. Riches respond to definite thought. The universe does not reward confusion. It responds to order, direction, and purpose. When your mind is fixed on what you want, when you remove mental clutter, the creative forces within you begin to move on your behalf. Opportunities appear, ideas emerge. But if you hesitate, if you allow contradictory thoughts to dominate, you will remain trapped in mediocrity. That is the great tragedy of the masses. They never learn to think in a straight line. They think in circles, and so their lives go in circles. You must therefore study your thoughts. Observe them as a craftsman inspects his tools. Which thoughts serve your aim, which sabotage it? Which beliefs push you forward and which keep you stuck? Be honest. Do not hide behind shallow optimism. Go to the root. If your dominant thoughts are fearful, they must be replaced. If they are vague, they must be sharpened. If they are self-defeating, they must be destroyed. Thought is not something that merely passes through your mind. It is something you select, install, repeat, and make permanent. This is discipline. This is the path. There is no shortcut. You cannot dwell on poverty and wealth at the same time and expect to grow. You cannot obsess over failure and expect success. The mind must be cleansed of contradictions and united behind a definite aim. The first step toward mastery is clarity of purpose. Without it, your thoughts scatter. But once you truly know what you want, your thoughts begin to organize around that desire. And when that desire is mixed with faith and persistence, it becomes unstoppable. The stronger the thought, the stronger the result, and repetition is the mother of mastery. Think the same thought over and over, and it becomes part of your character. Character shapes habit. Habit shapes destiny. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of the world. You have been given the greatest power of all, the ability to choose your thoughts. Use it. Practice it daily, relentlessly, and your life will rise to reflect the clarity, order, and strength of a disciplined mind. Control is not built in moments of ease. It is forged in the struggle against inner resistance. The reason most people never master their minds is because they surrender too soon. The moment discomfort arrives, they give up. The moment distraction whispers, they obey. But hear me, the mind, like the body, adapts to the strength of repeated command. Each time you resist temptation, you grow stronger. Each time you pull a wandering thought back to your purpose, you build the muscle of mastery. Control is not a gift, it is earned, and you earn it not in a single day, but in the daily grind of choosing your thoughts deliberately, repeatedly, unrelentingly. Do not fool yourself into believing this is optional. If you do not control your thoughts will control you and drag you back into mediocrity. Now let us speak of one of the most dangerous poisons of the mind, doubt. Doubt is the silent assassin of dreams. It enters quietly, often disguised as caution. It wears the mask of logic, but underneath lies fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping into the unknown. Doubt does not need to shout. A whisper is enough. The moment you accept a doubtful thought without challenge, you begin to retreat from your definite aim. Make no mistake, whatever you tolerate in your thoughts will show up in your results. The disciplined mind leaves no room for doubt. It recognizes it immediately and destroys it with the force of faith. Faith is not blind. Faith is built on understanding that your focused mind, once committed and supported by belief, will shape your reality to match your inner vision. Hold that image, protect it. Refuse to let it fade under pressure. Faith is not mystical, it is clarity and conviction that allow no contradiction. A person of faith does not need to see the entire path. They need only see the next step and believe they will take it. Faith is the bridge between thought and action, strengthened through repetition and affirmation. You must tell your mind every single day who you are and what you are becoming. Do not leave this to chance. The world will feed your mind with fear unless you feed it with purpose. Speak your goals, write them down. Repeat them until your subconscious accepts them as reality. Distraction is another enemy of mental clarity. The mind cannot serve two masters. When your attention is divided, your power is diluted. Successful people know this. They do not waste mental energy on the trivial. They guard their time, their routines, their space. They cut away what is unnecessary so that their full energy can flow toward a single goal. This is not obsession, it is precision. And without precision, you drift. You move from idea to idea, goal to goal, never long enough to build momentum. A scattered mind produces scattered results. Simplify, cut the noise, create rituals that support your purpose, reserve time for silence, for study, for reflection. Speak with yourself clearly about what you want and what you are willing to give to achieve it. Understand this, a powerful mind is not built by information alone. It is built by concentrated, organized thought. You may read hundreds of books, listen to countless experts, and still remain confused, because confusion is not solved by more input. It is solved by clarity of intention. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not someday, not vaguely, clearly, now. Define it, write it, fix it in your mind. That clarity becomes the lens through which all your thinking must pass. Without it, your mind becomes prey to distraction. You react instead of creating. You follow the crowd instead of leading. You act from emotion instead of principle. And one day you will wake up wondering why success escaped you. But success never left. You lost focus. You must train your mind to align with your purpose. Begin each day with intention before the world has a chance to set your mood. Set it yourself. Direct your energy before it is scattered. This morning practice is not optional for those who seek greatness. It is foundational. It is the seed of self-mastery. You do not begin your day by accident. You begin it with thought, with clarity, with fire. You remind yourself what matters. You remind yourself who is in control. Too many people wait for motivation, but motivation fades. Discipline remains, and discipline begins with thought. If you control the first thought of the day, you can begin to control the rest. The mind will follow the path you create for it. If you let it dwell on fear, you will freeze. If you fix it on purpose, you will become powerful. If you feed it negativity, it will drain you. But if you flood it with faith, determination, and clarity, it will carry you forward like a locomotive. Stop allowing your mind to sabotage you. Stop letting negative thoughts sit unchallenged in your head. Replace them. Reinforce new beliefs. That is the process. That is mastery. Lives are transformed not by wishing, not by waiting, but by controlling the stream of thought until the mind itself becomes a servant to your will. Do not overlook the influence of your environment on your thoughts. Your surroundings shape your state of mind. The voices you hear, the people you associate with, the media you consume, all of them plant seeds in your consciousness. Be selective. Be ruthless. If something weakens your focus, remove it. If someone drains your belief, create distance. Your mind is too valuable to be polluted by low standards. Protect your energy. Design your environment to elevate your thinking. Surround yourself with reminders of your purpose. Place your goals where your eyes can see them. Keep books within reach that feed your vision. Construct your space so that it constantly reflects the life you are building. This is not decoration, it is construction. You are constructing the mindset of a successful life. Your thoughts do not just reflect reality, they shape it. Every invention, every fortune, every revolution in history began with a single thought fully believed and acted upon with persistence. The average man thinks shallowly and passively, letting life happen to him. The great man thinks deeply and deliberately, making life happen through him. You are not here merely to exist, you are here to create. And the first thing you must create is the mental structure of the life you want to live. That creation begins with sustained focus. It begins with repetition of truth. It begins with unwavering discipline in thought. Not sometimes, not when convenient, but daily, hourly, moment to moment. This is the work. And when the work is done, the result is inevitable, not by chance, but by law. Understand this. You become what you habitually think. This is not metaphor, it is law. Every dominant thought, when mixed with belief and emotion, seeks expression in the physical world. The results you experience now, whether success or failure, are not accidents. They are the fruits of the thoughts you have consistently entertained, consciously or unconsciously. Nothing exists in your outer world that did not first exist in the inner world of thought. If you wish to change your life, you must transform your thinking at its root, not surface thoughts, but your deepest convictions. You must examine what you truly believe about yourself, about money, about power, about purpose. If those beliefs are weak, fearful, or limiting, they must be destroyed and replaced with beliefs of strength, abundance, and clarity. Too many try to change circumstances without first changing their thinking, and then wonder why results never last. You cannot plant weeds and expect roses. You cannot build a mansion on a foundation of sand. The subconscious mind does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to repetition, to command. Speak to it with authority, with conviction, with certainty. Repetition is the mechanism, belief is the fuel, emotion is the accelerator. When these three are combined, you reprogram the subconscious, and once it accepts a new belief, it will drive you relentlessly toward its manifestation. Your job is not to figure out how. It is to command the mind and move consistently in action. You must also remain vigilant in rejecting destructive thoughts the moment they appear. Do not entertain them. Do not argue with them. Replace them instantly. Substitute fear with faith. Replace self-doubt with self-talk of power. Eliminate envy with gratitude. Your mind cannot hold two dominant thoughts at once, so choose the one that serves your purpose. This is not denial of reality. It is the construction of a higher reality. You are not here to be ruled by reaction. You are here to act with intention. That intention begins with your inner voice. If your inner voice speaks weakness, change it. Rewrite the story word by word, belief by belief, until your inner dialogue aligns with your outer success. And let us be clear, thought alone is not enough. Thinking must fuse with action. Thought is the blueprint, but action is the construction. You cannot sit in a room and hope your world will change. You must discipline your mind, align it with purpose, and then move your feet in harmony with your vision. Without action, belief remains incomplete. Action reinforces belief. Each step forward strengthens your inner commitment. The world does not reward intention, it rewards execution. Set your purpose, control your thoughts, but then act every single day. Now let us address definiteness of purpose. A drifting mind can never build success. A person without a clear aim is like a ship without a compass. Most failures can be traced back to this single cause, the absence of a definite goal. You must know exactly what you want, not vaguely, not someday, but precisely and now. Write it down, memorize it. Think on it in the morning, revisit it at noon, reaffirm it at night. Your thoughts must orbit your purpose like planets around the sun. That central aim gives order to mental chaos. It gives meaning to discipline. Without it, your thoughts scatter, your energy dissipates, and your effort loses force. Decide what you want, then decide you will have it. That decision is the first act of creation. Let us now talk about self-image, the silent architect of all success. You can never rise above the opinion you secretly hold of yourself. No matter what others say, no matter what evidence supports you, if you quietly believe you are unworthy, you will sabotage your progress. The subconscious mind always works to keep you aligned with your inner identity. That is why you must train your mind to see yourself as successful before the world recognizes it. Speak to yourself in the language of the person you intend to become. Walk with their posture, think with their confidence, decide with their conviction. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Identity shapes destiny, and thoughts backed by belief and emotion create an unstoppable force. Thoughts, when fueled by belief and emotion, act like magnets. They pull resources, people, and opportunities into alignment with your purpose. This is not superstition, it is mental science. You already practice it daily, often to your own harm. When you obsess over fear, you notice more things to fear. When you dwell on limitation, more obstacles appear. Your thoughts attract their own kind, change the charge, and you change the pull. If you want abundance, think it, feel it, act as though it is already yours. If you want confidence, speak it and move as if it were already true. This is how the subconscious mind learns to obey a new master. You cannot beg it into submission. You must command it. Not once, but until obedience becomes its natural state. You must also cultivate emotional control, because uncontrolled emotion weakens thought. A person ruled by emotion is inconsistent, unstable, easily manipulated. One moment, they are inspired, the next defeated. One challenge and they abandon their purpose. That is not power, that is surrender. True power is calm, steady, focused. It does not react, it decides. This is the temperament of a builder. You are here to build, not complain, not collapse, but build. That requires emotional regulation, poise, and focus, even when life pulls at you from every direction. Do not let your emotions rule your decisions. Let your decisions rule your emotions. That is mastery. Now let us confront the illusion of time. Many delay transformation by telling themselves they need more time. But time does not change you, decision does. Time only reveals the consistency of your thinking. A man may think differently for a year, but if he never acts, he is no further than the man who never thought at all. Change begins now, in this very moment with this very thought. What you allow into your mind now becomes your pattern. Do not postpone clarity. Do not postpone belief. Decide now that your mind will serve you. Decide now that you will no longer be a slave to fear, doubt, or mediocrity. Time is not your master. You are the master of time, and your thoughts determine what you create with it. Excuses are another poison. They sound logical, but they destroy progress. Excuses are nothing more than thoughts that justify inaction. Replace excuses with responsibility. Take command of your thoughts, your time, your focus. Never again say, "I don't feel like it." That is weakness speaking. Replace it with, "This is who I am. This is what I do." Build new thought patterns that support your new identity. The mind is programmable, and repetition is the code. If you do not program it, the world will. Through fear, doubt, and the opinions of others. Refuse to let that happen. The battle for success is fought inside. Your greatest enemy is not external. It is the thought that whispers, "You can't." It is the thought that says, "Maybe tomorrow." It is the thought that insists, "You're not ready." That voice must be silenced, not by ignoring it, but by overriding it. Replace it with thoughts of strength. Not empty affirmations, but declarations fueled by belief and backed by action. You do not win this battle once. You win it daily, hourly, moment by moment, every time you choose a thought that aligns with your purpose. You win through practice, through persistence, through discipline of thought that does not bend under pressure. And pressure will come. It will test the strength of your thinking. Make sure your thoughts are forged in purpose, not in weakness. This is the work. This is the path. Control your thoughts and you control your destiny. That is not a promise, it is law. You cannot think with clarity, consistency, and power for months and remain the same. Your world must conform. It has no choice. But you must give it direction. You must become the thinker, the intentional, disciplined thinker. Do not wait. Begin now. Control one thought, then another, then another. Soon your entire life will reflect the order, clarity, and strength of a mind trained for greatness. The true measure of power is not how much control you have over others, but how much control you have over yourself. And no mastery is more vital than mastery of thought. You cannot build a life of success, peace, and purpose without first creating order in your mind. The world you see, the choices you make, the results you experience, all are reflections of your mental state. This is not speculation, it is law. Weak thoughts produce weak results. Scattered thoughts produce scattered results. But strong, focused, purposeful thoughts lift your life to match them. You are the architect, you are the builder, and most importantly, you are the governor of the thoughts that guide your every move. You are not a machine of impulse or emotion unless you surrender that authority. The first law of transformation is this: nothing changes outside until it changes within, and nothing changes within unless thought is directed with intention. The mind is not a passive receiver, it is fertile soil. If you fail to plant deliberately, weeds will grow. Doubt, procrastination, and fear are the weeds of an unguarded mind. The disciplined mind replaces them with clarity, initiative, and purpose. Your habits are born from your thoughts. Your results flow from your habits. And your future is nothing more than the compounded outcome of your present results. If you wish to redirect your future, you must interrupt the cycle now. Begin by identifying the thoughts you repeat most often. Are they aligned with your purpose? Are they rooted in faith or in fear? Do they move you toward the life you want? Or do they keep you trapped in the conditions you claim to despise? Be honest with yourself, for nothing lasting is built upon self-deception. Do not expect results to change overnight, but expect your awareness to sharpen immediately. Awareness is the first step. From that awareness, new patterns can form, but only if you act. Mental discipline is not theory, it is practice, and that practice requires effort. With consistency, effort becomes identity, and identity becomes destiny. Transformation does not begin with motivation, it begins with decision. The man who decides that his thoughts will serve his purpose is the man who begins to live by law, not by chance. He moves from wishing to building. He becomes cause, not effect. And the world honors builders. You must also take full responsibility for the environment you allow into your mind. The thoughts you think are either strengthened or weakened by the voices you permit in your life. The books you read, the conversations you entertain, the media you consume, all of them shape your inner dialogue. You cannot feed your mind with garbage and expect it to produce gold. Be ruthless in filtering your input. Whatever does not serve your growth must be eliminated. This is not cruelty, it is necessity. You are shaping your life. You cannot afford distractions, cynicism, or noise. Protect your mental space as a builder protects the foundation of his home. For it is on that foundation your legacy will rise. Discipline your mind to observe without absorbing. Just because a thought enters does not mean it must be accepted. You are not the servant of your mind, you are its master. When a destructive thought arises, reject it. When fear whispers, silence it. When doubt appears, override it with clarity, vision, and persistence. This requires awareness, it requires the courage to think beyond reaction. It requires a commitment to stop drifting like a ship without anchor. Mental mastery is not given, it is earned. Earned by those who dare to think deliberately, to feel consciously, to choose wisely. Do not overlook the power of daily repetition. The mind is molded by consistency. You do not train a champion once, you train daily. Likewise, you must speak to your mind daily with conviction. You must affirm your purpose, reinforce your beliefs, remind yourself who is in command. Even 10 minutes of daily mental discipline builds a fortress of thought. No adversity can conquer. This is how character is formed. This is how resolve is built. You cannot wait for the world to affirm you. You must affirm yourself. This is the cornerstone of self-leadership. Emotional independence is essential. The man who relies on external validation for inner peace will forever be a slave to circumstance. You must learn to think independently of praise or criticism. The moment you hand your self-worth to others, you give them the power to destabilize your vision. Decide that your mind will remain centered regardless of who applauds or who mocks. Think as the master thinks. Act as the leader acts. Speak as the man of purpose speaks. You are not here to react. You are here to realize your vision, and that realization begins in the mind. One of the greatest tests of thought control is how you respond to difficulty. When circumstances press against you, do you default to defeat, or do you think your way through with clarity? Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting the strength of your dominant thoughts. Those who collapse under pressure have not yet mastered their minds. Those who stay calm, who rise in the face of adversity, have trained their thoughts to obey principle rather than panic. You must become that person. Let every challenge refine your thinking. Let every trial sharpen your clarity. Greatness is born not in ease, but in disciplined thought under pressure. If you are to truly transform your life through thought, you must step into the realm of higher thinking. This is the level of inspired thought, where ideas are no longer born from fear but from vision. Here your thoughts are not reactive but creative. You stop thinking only about survival and begin thinking about contribution, about creating value, about leaving a legacy. The highest use of thought is not self-protection. It is self-expression aligned with purpose. When your mind rises to this altitude, your life expands in every direction. You become magnetic. People feel the strength of your clarity. Circumstances shift. Opportunities emerge. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of disciplined thought vibrating at the frequency of purpose. But understand, this level of thought cannot be accessed by dreamers who wish without discipline. It is reserved for those who have paid the price in focus, in self-control, in consistent inner work. You cannot visit this higher realm occasionally and expect lasting change. You must live there, and to live there, the old self must die. The self that thought small, the self that doubted, that feared judgment, that hesitated under pressure, that self must be left behind. In its place, a new thinker must rise, one who accepts full responsibility, one who refuses to be ruled by emotion, one who shapes reality through disciplined, focused, elevated thought. That is your power, that is your responsibility, and that is your invitation. Control your thoughts and you will control your life. Build a system of thinking so deliberate, so clear, so unshakable that nothing external can override it. Let that system become the foundation upon which your relationships, your results, your wealth, and your future are built. This is how you lead yourself. This is how you earn success, not by chasing it, but by becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it, through thought, through belief, through discipline, through identity. You are not here to drift. You are not here merely to survive. You are here to build. You are here to lead. You are here to master your mental world so completely that your external world has no choice but to follow. Every result you desire already exists in potential form. It is waiting for the signal of your mind, but that signal must be clear, consistent, and infused with belief. Stop doubting, stop delaying, start deciding. The thoughts you choose right now. So I ask you again, will you control your thoughts or will they control you? The answer to that single question will determine the trajectory of your life. Choose discipline, choose consistency, choose clarity, and no obstacle, no critic, no failure can stop the unfolding of your destiny. The law will obey you because your mind will obey you. And when your mind obeys, success becomes inevitable. This is the path. Walk it with power. The law of thought is fixed. Nothing changes outside until it changes within, and nothing changes within unless thought is directed with intention. Your mind is not a passive receiver, it is fertile ground. If you fail to plant seeds deliberately, weeds will grow by default. Doubt, procrastination, and fear are the weeds of an unguarded mind, but the disciplined mind does not tolerate them. It replaces them with clarity, initiative, and definite aim. No one can control his destiny without first controlling the dominant thought patterns of his mind. Your habits come from your thoughts. Your results come from your habits. And your future is simply the compounded outcome of those results. If you want to redirect your future, you must break the cycle now. Identify the thoughts you repeat most often. Ask, are they serving my purpose? Are they rooted in fear or in faith? Do they move me forward or hold me back? Be ruthlessly honest. Self-deception builds nothing of lasting value. Do not expect results to change in a day, but expect your awareness to change instantly. The moment awareness sharpens, you begin to see the patterns that hold you, and only then can you replace them. Mental discipline is not theory, it is practice. Practice requires effort, and consistent effort becomes identity. Identity becomes destiny. Transformation never begins with motivation, it begins with decision. The moment you decide that your thoughts will obey your purpose, you step into law, not accident. You move from the realm of wishes into the world of builders, and the world always honors builders. Your environment is either feeding or starving your thoughts. Every book you read, every conversation you allow, every voice you entertain shapes your inner dialogue. You cannot fill your mind with trash and expect it to produce treasure. Guard it ruthlessly. Whatever weakens you must go. This is not cruelty, it is necessity. You are shaping your future, and you cannot afford the luxury of cynicism, distraction, or noise. Protect your mental space as fiercely as a builder protects the foundation of his home, for on that foundation, your legacy will be built. Learn to observe thoughts without absorbing them. Just because a thought arrives does not mean it must be accepted. You are not a servant to your mind, you are its master. When a destructive thought arises, reject it. When fear whispers, silence it. When doubt surfaces, override it with persistence and vision. This requires awareness. It requires the courage to think beyond reaction. It requires a commitment to stop drifting and begin steering. Mental mastery is not given, it is earned. Earned by those who dare to think deliberately, feel consciously, and choose wisely. Repetition is the sculptor of the mind. The mind is molded daily, not occasionally. You do not train greatness once, you train it every day. Speak to your mind with conviction, affirm your purpose, reinforce your beliefs, remind yourself constantly that you are in control. Even 10 minutes a day of disciplined thought builds a fortress that no adversity can break. That is how character is forged. That is how resolve is built. Stop waiting for the world to affirm you. You must affirm yourself. This is the cornerstone of self-leadership. Emotional independence is equally vital. The man who needs external validation for peace will always be a slave to circumstance. Learn to think beyond praise and beyond criticism. If your worth is in others' hands, they control your vision. Decide now that your mind will remain steady regardless of applause or mockery. Think like the master, act like the leader, speak like the man of purpose. You are not here to react to others, you are here to realize your vision, and that vision begins with thought. The real test of thought control is adversity. When challenges rise, do you crumble or do you think your way through with clarity? Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting the quality of your dominant thoughts. Those who break under pressure have not mastered their minds. Those who remain calm, who rise under fire, have trained their thoughts to obey principle instead of panic. You must become that person. Let every trial sharpen your clarity. Let every struggle refine your discipline. Greatness is not born in comfort, but in disciplined thought under pressure. True mastery requires rising into a higher plane of thought. Inspired thought does not dwell on fear, but on vision. It is not reactive, but creative. It does not focus on survival, but on contribution, creation, and legacy. The highest function of thought is not protecting self. It is expressing self in alignment with purpose. At this level, life expands. You radiate clarity and people feel it. Opportunities appear, circumstances shift. This is not luck, it is law. Disciplined thought vibrating at purpose changes the world around you. But this realm is not for casual dreamers. It is earned through focus, through self-control, through consistency. You cannot dip into this state occasionally. You must live there. And to live there, the old self must die. The doubter, the one who thought small, who feared judgment, who hesitated under pressure, that self must be buried. A new thinker must rise, one who accepts total responsibility, one who refuses to bow to emotion, one who builds reality with disciplined, focused, purposeful thought. This is your power, your responsibility, your invitation. Master your thoughts, and you master your life. Build a system of thinking so deliberate, so clear, so unwavering, that nothing external can shake it. Let this system become the foundation of your results, your wealth, your relationships, and your future. This is how you lead yourself. This is how you earn success. Not by chasing, but by becoming the person who naturally attracts it. Through thought, belief, discipline, and identity. You are not here to drift or merely survive. You are here to build, to lead, to master your inner world so completely that the outer world cannot resist following. Every result you seek already exists in potential form. It waits for the signal of your mind. But that signal must be clear, consistent, and filled with belief. Stop doubting. Stop delaying. Decide. Right now. Your future is being built by the thoughts you are choosing in this very moment. Will you command them, or will they command you? The answer to that question shapes your destiny. If you choose discipline, consistency, and clarity, no critic, no obstacle, no failure can stop you. The law will serve you because your mind will serve you. And when your mind obeys, success is inevitable. Remember this, the power of thought is law. You cannot think clearly, consistently, and powerfully for long and remain unchanged. Your world must conform, but it needs direction. You must be the intentional thinker, the disciplined thinker. Begin now. Control one thought, then another, then another. Soon your entire life reflects the clarity and power of a mind trained for greatness. Power is not measured by control over others, but by control over self. And no mastery matters more than mastery of thought. You cannot create peace, purpose, or prosperity without first building order within your own mind. The world you see, the choices you make, the results you experience, all mirror your thoughts. This is not theory, it is law. Weak thoughts bring weak results. Strong thoughts bring strong results. You are the architect, the builder, the governor of your thoughts. You are not a machine of impulse unless you surrender that role. Transformation begins within. If you fail to plant the right seeds, weeds will grow. Doubt, procrastination, fear. These are not random, but default programs of an unguarded mind. The disciplined thinker replaces them with clarity, initiative, and definite purpose. Your habits grow from your thoughts. Your results grow from your habits. Your future is nothing more than the sum of today's results. If you want change, interrupt the cycle now. Identify the thoughts you repeat most. Are they aligned with your purpose? Are they rooted in fear or in faith? Do they move you toward your vision or keep you bound in mediocrity? Be honest, for nothing of value is built on self-deception. Do not expect overnight transformation, but expect immediate awareness. Awareness creates new choices, and new choices create new patterns. Mental discipline is not abstract, it is action. Effort becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. Identity becomes destiny. And it all begins with a decision. The man who decides his thoughts will obey his purpose ceases to live by accident. He lives by law. He becomes cause, not effect. He joins the world of builders. And the world always honors builders. Every voice you allow into your mind either strengthens or weakens you. Books, conversations, media, they all shape your internal dialogue. You cannot feed your mind with trash and expect it to produce gold. Filter ruthlessly. Whatever does not serve your vision must go. This is not cruelty, it is discipline. You are building a life. Distractions, cynicism, mediocrity, they cannot be allowed in. Protect your mental space with the same vigilance a builder protects the foundation of his house. Learn to observe thoughts without absorbing them. Not every thought deserves acceptance. You are not a servant. You are the master. When fear arises, reject it. When doubt appears, override it. When weakness whispers, replace it with resolve. This requires awareness, courage, and commitment. Mental mastery is not given. It is earned by those who choose to think deliberately, feel consciously, and act wisely. Repetition is your greatest tool. The mind is shaped daily, not occasionally. Champions are not trained once, they are trained constantly. Speak to your mind daily. Affirm your goals. Reinforce your beliefs. Remind yourself who is in control. 10 minutes of disciplined focus each day can build a fortress of thought. No, hardship can destroy. That is how character is formed. That is how leaders are built. Do not wait for the world to validate you. You must validate yourself. This is self-leadership. Do not depend on praise or fear criticism. The moment your peace relies on others, your vision is lost. Decide now that your thoughts remain steady regardless of applause or mockery. Think as the master, speak as the leader, walk as the person of purpose. You are not here to react, you are here to realize, and realization begins in thought. Difficulty is the test. When pressure rises, do you break or do you stay? Every trial is a mirror showing the quality of your thinking. Those who crumble under stress have not mastered their minds. Those who rise, who stand calm in chaos, have disciplined their thoughts to follow principle, not panic. Be that person. Let every storm sharpen you. Let every challenge refine you. Greatness is not forged in comfort, but in disciplined thought under fire. Lift your thinking to the highest level. True thought does not merely protect, it creates. It does not dwell on fear, it builds vision. It does not ask, how can I survive? It asks, how can I contribute? What legacy can I leave? The highest use of thought is to align your mind with purpose and let it create value beyond yourself. At this level, your life expands. You attract people, resources, and opportunities. This is not chance, it is law. But this level is not reached by dabblers. It is earned by those who have paid the price in discipline, consistency, and inner work. You cannot visit occasionally. You must live there. And to live there, the old self must die. The small thinker, the doubter, the hesitant one, leave them behind. A new thinker must rise, disciplined, responsible, unshakable. Control your thoughts, and you control your life. Build a system of thought so strong, so clear, so disciplined that nothing can overthrow it. From that system, your future will be built. Your results, your wealth, your relationships, your legacy. This is how you lead yourself. This is how you rise, not by chasing success, but by becoming the person who naturally attracts it through thought, belief, discipline, and identity. Every dream, every result, every destiny already exists in potential form. The signal is waiting for your mind to send. Will you send it with clarity or with confusion? The answer shapes your life. Discipline your thoughts, and nothing can stop you. The law will obey you because your mind will obey you. And when your mind obeys, success becomes inevitable. This is the path. Walk it with power. Look, if you apply what I just taught, I guarantee that within weeks you will see your results shifting. Not by chance, not by luck, not by some hidden talent, but by law. Your world must eventually conform to the order of your thoughts. Control them, and you control everything else. If this video gave you a new perspective, hit the like button and tell me in the comments what your biggest insight was. For today's challenge, write down one recurring thought you've been carrying and then rewrite it into a belief that actually serves your purpose. Share it in the comments so others can learn from your shift. Remember this, nothing changes outside until it first changes inside. Your habits, your results, and your future all begin with thought. In the next episode, we'll go deeper into how to build unshakable faith in your vision, so strong that no obstacle, no critic, no failure can stop you.